Hello, my name is Lola, and I'm going to be reacting to Caddicarus. Old Everything Can Stop Mr. Domino. And this was a recommendation for me by James93. Thank you for the recommendation. And yeah, I have never ever seen this game or heard of it. Like, what the hell is it? Anyway, yeah, let's check it out and see what Caddy thinks about it. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe my channel, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Here we go.
Dominos, 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 Dominos. Dominos.
Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show, where I always have to do the dirty deed of deciding whether or not a game deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. Now, out of everybody in this room right now, who remembers the Sony PlayStation? Yes, good, fantastic, all of you guys, okay, great. Now, out of the Sony PlayStation people, who remembers the classic mascots for it? Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Abe from Oddworld, Parappa the Rapper, Mr. Domino? Yes, of course. No one fucking remembers him.
This game is weird. This game is weird. This game is really bloody weird. I know on the surface it just seems like your average puzzle game involving dominoes, but if you just simmer down for one goddamn second and take a step back, you'll see that this game has Japan in it. Oh yes, this is gonna be a ball. A big, bouncy, rambunctious boom. As the front of the box proudly states, no one can stop Mr. Domino. This was a game made by a Japanese company called Art Dick, and they are a company that are actually pretty famous elsewhere for making all of these fucking games. Wow. These guys have made more games than I have washed. No One Can Stop Mr. Domino is one of those forgotten PS1 games that seemed to have a lot of hype and attention close to its release, but then unfortunately just kind of vanished into obscurity forever. Games like Kurashi, Cooler World, Tombi, you know, those kinds of games. I mean, I can testify to that. When I first ever played this game, it was on this official UK PlayStation Magazine demo disc right here. And oh man, for anyone out there that grew up with these things, then please allow me to get your nostalgia neurons throbbing with this particular song. I played the demo of Mr. Domino countless times as a kid, but I never actually got anywhere with it, and I never beat it. I just remember it being a confusing and frustrating, well, mess. With walking dominoes. This is really stupid, isn't it? But now that I'm a fully grown and rather hairy adult, I think it's about time that I retried this forgotten gem for old time's sake and give it a second chance.
So, Mr. Domino, let's see what effect you leave on me. Domino effect. It's a domino!
Now here's a pretty exciting cutscene. It's one of those Japanese game cutscenes like in Klonoa that explains absolutely nothing whatsoever and just shows you a load of flashing pictures in order to get you interested. And I actually think that it's worth mentioning that. Anyway, we start up the game and we are immediately given the chance to pick between two anthropomorphic dominoes.
Did I really just say that out loud?
And, I think I'll go with Mr. Domino, purely because, well, the box says that no one can stop Mr. Domino, so if I pick him, I'll be unstoppable and he should make everything really fucking easy.
The game lied to me.
Holy shit, I'm serious. serious? No one can stop Mr. Domino? More like everything can stop Mr. Domino. This game is a barrel of lies. Okay, wait. What am I doing? Why can't I stop? Why do I need to hurry up? Hurry up what? Where's the time limit? I see no time limit. Game, I'm starting to have enough of your shit. Oh. Game over. Okay, before I slag this game off, I'm actually gonna find out what it is you have to do. And, funnily enough, the only way to learn how this game works is by reading the manual. Yeah, there's no tutorial or in-game hints, difficulty settings, or pretty much anything within the game to help you out here. This is one of those few extremely obscure puzzle games that literally tells you to press start and figure everything out. I mean, with stuff like Tetris, it's pretty fucking obvious what you do. You've only got 2 buttons and you move around and it's pretty easy because you just press buttons and then it makes all sense. But then look at all this crud on the screen here. I can't work this out. Kind of a dick move there. Japan. And not only are the how to play aspects completely void from this puzzle game, but also pretty much anything else. This is a raw kind of game. Just like the lack of explanation to what you're doing, there's no stage select, 1 action button, 5 lives before the game is over. I mean, it may sound extremely simple, but then the second you hit that start button, this game makes you its bitch. In more ways than one. When it wants to, this can be a hard game. But none of this means anything unless everyone knows what's going on. So what's going on? This is going on. If you thought that from the title of No One Can Stop Mr. Domino that you'd be taking part in a Godzilla simulator with a giant walking domino piece screaming, "No one can stop Mr. Domino," I'm afraid you're wrong. Instead, the game is actually an on-rail puzzle game. Did I really just say that out loud? That does involve a fair amount of skill. By moving left, right, speeding up, slowing down, and pressing and holding 1 action button, the main objective is to run around an infinitely lapping stage while avoiding any and all obstacles, grabbing power-ups, and dropping out a limited amount of your own dominoes, which would be kind of like shitting out own versions of yourself. And then every time you lap the stage, you have to knock over the dominoes that you placed in the last lap and make sure they fall on respective trick tiles. These trick tiles are these 3D buttons that flash in every stage, and whenever you activate one by knocking a domino onto it, something like this happens. Or this. Or this. Or even this. Did I mention this was Japanese? Anyway, another thing to note is that these rippled flashing tiles indicate where an object will fall after you hit the trick tile before it. Meaning that if you place a row of dominoes onto a trick tile and then start another row of dominoes at the rippled flashing tile, you can create a massive chain of incredible house-destroying domino toppling. Essentially, if you're really good, this means you can beat every stage with 1 clean line of dominoes that you knock over on your second lap. And let me tell you, it's insanely fucking satisfying to do that. But no more satisfaction for you. Yeah, are those normal, regular dominoes just far too stale for you? Yeah, is this boring to you? Because if it is, then this game was made for you. Also, it means you're a Anyway, I can imagine that this may sound a little too easy, so the developers made it important to add in all of these fucking distractions and moving obstacles to either slow you down or completely kill an amazing chain of dominoes you had going. And yes, they are very fucking difficult to avoid because, well, A, you can't stop moving, B, you can't jump, and C, this control can be wank sometimes, but not all the time. I mean, it's not awful by any means, but it has this weird delay to it, which proves to be difficult to grasp when you're turning a corner in the 3D space. So that means you sometimes have little idea where your trajectory is headed, and by the time you notice where you're walking, the control delay doesn't let you correct the mistake in time. And then once you get your head around that, you need to learn about the power-ups and de-power-ups, as I call them. You see, even though you can infinitely lap the course as much as you want, you have a time limit. Well, actually, a stamina meter. A stamina meter that isn't shown on screen, but rather on the color of your domino. The darker shade your domino gets, the more the game tells you to hurry up. And so before you run out of stamina, you need to hit one of these health tiles to bring you back to peak physical domino condition once again. But here's the catch. Once you've stood on that particular health tile, that's it. It becomes unusable for the rest of the stage unless you restart it. So because of the one-time use to the few of them that are scattered in each level, this means that you must avoid the slowing down tiles which massively waste your time. And even though you get some lovely speed with the speed boost tiles, it makes accurately placing dominoes or avoiding a health tile that you don't want to waste near fucking impossible. But very handy if you need to move quickly because you're low on stamina or you want to finish a lap and knock your dominoes over before you run out of health. Every stage adds in new hazards, challenges, things to remember, different angles to place your dominoes, and it's all very exciting and addicting, which is made even more addicting by a very catchy soundtrack and a really nice Japanesey kind of Katamari sort of styled visual appeal. It does look really nice and smooth for the PS1, especially for 1998. And overall, this game is surprisingly strategic, and it gets extremely fucking challenging as it goes on.
Now this is, in my opinion, a fucking excellent idea for a puzzle game, and one that has a lot of potential to actually come back for newer consoles today. I'd love to see this idea come back. But then we get the fucking restart tiles.
Now, I mentioned earlier that despite only needing to avoid certain tasks and obstacles, making sure your domino doesn't run out of breath, and pressing or holding an action button to place the dominoes, this game gets fucking unforgiving. You will die a lot, I can guarantee it, especially if you've never played through a new stage. But alas, as I just said, this brings me on to the restart tiles. These bastards are sprinkled all over the levels and are probably one of the most annoying and cheap additions to difficulty I have ever seen in a video game. So get this, whenever you hit one of these tiles, everything resets.
Okay, neat!
Sounds like an easy escape out of a bad run, right? But it isn't. Instead, whenever you hit this, your placed dominoes are taken away and all of the trick tiles you hit are reset. But your current stamina and the health tiles you stood on do not reset. Also, unlike the health tiles, the restart tiles never run out of power at all. Fuck. If you were close to finishing a stage and then hit this bastard here, you might as well use one of your 5 resets in the pause menu and save yourself a continue, because there is no way you can hit all of the trick tiles and beat the stage on your last stretch of health. It's actually impossible. And when it is this easy to hit the reset tiles, it's no surprise how frustrating it is. Oh, fuck! It's also fun when you run into an obstacle because you can't do anything until your domino has finished spinning, meaning this happens a lot. Personally, I'd recommend always picking slow mode for this game, because picking fast pretty much means, well, that, all the time.
Ah well, despite all of this, I can at least safely say that Mr. Domino is probably the happiest main character in a video game I have ever seen. Look at him!
Yeah.
He's just so happy. He's adorable, he's so cute. He's probably not only one of the happiest video game characters in history, but probably the cutest domino in video game history. Because he's the only one.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, you have 5 level resets for the whole game and only 5 lives that you can't increase, which if you run out of means that you start all over again, from the beginning. Progress is only saved through the characters that you unlock, which, apart from playing a little bit differently, don't add any kind of reward or addition to the game itself. And to unlock every character, you need to get the highest possible score on every stage. 1 perfect run, no fuck-ups. And yes, I know that I said this game gets really fucking difficult as it goes on. I mean, hell, I couldn't even beat stage 4. But despite the limited lives, pause resets, and insane challenges, there are only 6 short stages to master before completing the game. So that means plenty of time to quickly restart and learn every stage inside out. Thinking about it, I suppose it could be worse, and the pure bounciness of every stage and distinct personality it carries doesn't make it feel monotonous, which, for a game forcing you to play from the beginning every time you fail, is quite an accomplishment. It's one of those few cases where the game length increased by the difficulty alone isn't actually too bad, unless of course you get really good and beat the game in under 20 minutes. That's not so good. And even though the reward for your hard work is kind of shitty, this makes it all worth it. I'm the best in the country, apparently. Yay!
The PS1 was secretly connected to the internet this whole time!
What's the point of this anyway? What's the goal? The story? What are we accomplishing here? I mean, the only story we got was the dominoes having fun with each other in the intro cutscene, but then in the game, the dominoes decide they aren't friends with me anymore because they keep acting like cocks to me during the levels. So it's not like we're trying to work together and domino the world over or anything. The dominoes are evil to all the humans and to each other. It's not deep or profound, they're just fucking dominoes. It makes no fucking sense. Am I looking too deep into this? What am I even doing with my life? And who cares? They got their fucking product placement in there anyway. Oh, how we laughed.
And with that, this game gets the salvage. Yeah, it may be really short and there's not much reward and it can be occasionally really fucking cheap, but you know what? I can't deny the addictiveness, the charm, and the originality that this game brings to the table, not to mention its challenge. Personally, I vote on this game needing some sort of comeback or a reboot or anything like that, but until that ever happens, if it does, I would say that if you find this game at a reasonable price, pick it up. I'd say it was pretty much worth it. I mean, it's not the best game I've ever played in my life, but it's not a bad game either. And I wouldn't say that it was an average kind of game, that it needed the slorvage. So, You know, it's not an amazing game, but you know, it's worth a salvage at least. I would even call it a hidden gem on the PS1. Okay, well, that's a bit of a stretch. Maybe not a hidden gem, but a hidden £5 note in the back of the sofa. Yeah, I'd say that was pretty accurate.
Hello there everybody, and thanks so much for watching my stupid video on No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, then please consider leaving me a little like and maybe make some great stuff, so have a look at him. Ahmed Al-Mutawa and Andrew.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, it actually looks like a cool game for like little kids. Aside from that, yeah, like you said, it's a weird ass game. Like, what? And it's like, yeah, like I can see, like, you know, like, yeah, the dominoes, they look they look kind of cute. It's messed up how, like, it's a forgotten mascot. Like, anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my reaction to old Everything Can Stop Mr. Domino by Caddicarus. And boy, that is a weird name for a game. And he is right. It is full of lies. It's lying. Because everything can stop Mr. Domino. Yeah, that's it. And I hope that, you know, everyone take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.